Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Lost Origin, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. For today's video, we are going to be looking at Crobat VMAX with Galarian Weezing. It's a combination that we've had for a good amount of time in the format, but I do think there are a number of new matchups from Lost Origin that makes this combination that little bit stronger, and we also have a small damage modifier in the form of a Radiant Pokemon as well. So we're revisiting Crobat VMAX with Galarian Weezing. Of course, that neutralizing gas, such a strong ability here, where we stop every other ability from working when Galarian Weezing is in that active position. Really, really nice for the Crobat's hit and run strategy, as well as simply using the severe poison on the Weezing to put 4 counters between turns of poison on Pokemon between turns, or during Pokemon checkup, as it's now called. And we have this Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, which increases that damage between turns as well. So the Radiant Sneasler pushes that 40 up to 60. And also, that really improves and augments the Crobat VMAX's damage output with the Stealth Poison, because 70 is so low, so already doing the 80 of poison up to 100, and then you have Choice Belt, which puts you up to 130. If the Pokemon in the active stays poisoned and doesn't evolve, they then go up to 160, which means 2 Stealth Poisons actually does knock out the star Pokemon that stay in the active position for a turn. So that's really important to note. It really does speed up this deck's win condition. Previously, it was just too many attacks required that even if you are slowing down the opponent, they can still kind of just get enough going to get through you. So that's really important to improve the Sneasler's damage out, or sorry, the Sneasler improves the Crobat and the Weezing's damage output so much more now that we are much more of a pressure deck in general. Plus we have the Max Cutter that can at least be used to, again, finish things off with higher hit points if we have Stealth Poison them previously, or it can be our one-hit KO option into Mew VMAX as well, which is important. So a 3-2 line of our Crobat. Maxing out the Weezing line, I would be remiss to not mention Koffing's attack. The Ascension attack is so important when we are the player going second. If we can get that Koffing in the active position with an energy, we can evolve straight into a Weezing and shut down our opponent's abilities, which is really nice to have. When we go first, we have Boost Shake. Boost Shake allows us to evolve even Pokemon that have come into play that turn, but it does force us to end our turn. Usually this is like a terrible effect. You never really want to end your turn, but exactly turn 1, if we can get a Koffing in the active and turn it into a Weezing, we're pretty happy to do a turn 1 ability lock on the opponent. Very strong stuff. So we are maxing out the boosts. We have a good amount of draw from Dark Asset in the opening stages with our Bull Search here. We can hopefully see enough cards in the opening stages to actually get this Koffing combination working, where we have a couple Switch, a couple Air Balloons, and Dark Asset, lots of Bull Search and a decent amount of energy. We can actually get that Koffing into the active quite often with that Boost Shake play, which is a really nice one to have in here. We have a couple other Pokemon that we can throw into the active with Stealth Poison. The backup plan of Empoleon V, as we know this card's seeing more and more play in the format. I really like this because you can only Ascension or Boost Shake once, right? You can only get one Weezing into play turn 1, but what you can do is have a backup Empoleon V in play at the same time, which means you're then playing around Escape Rope. Escape Rope is a very prevalent and popular card right now, so having a Weezing and Empoleon in play gives you some coverage. That Emperor's Eyes isn't quite as versatile as Weezing, because anything with a rule box still can use their abilities, but it is a great fallback for these Confe engines that are playing heavy rope regardless. So Empoleon, very nice option to have here as another backup disrupting card, which then also gives us, in a way, sort of 5 good leads in the deck if you count Koffing as your best lead. Empoleon's kind of like that next best lead. We have a Miltank in here as well. That Miracle Body is still frustrating, certainly for things like Arceus decks and such that don't have inbuilt answers can sometimes struggle here, so it's nice to slow down some archetypes. It's always a nice panic play with Marnie as well, Marnie Miltank being an option to just Stealth Poison into and buy yourself free turns here and there. We have the Galarian Zigzagoon. I like this as a real solid option to change up your damage here and give yourself sometimes knockouts coming back into your turn with poison, which can be huge, or even turning that 60 with Weezing Sneasler into 70 and immediately knocking out a Confe and forcing something else into the active can be very valuable. Also, we're playing a Samurott package in here as well, so having Zigzagoon its own Mooncleave VSTAR ability, as well as Weezing like pre-poisoning stuff. We should have plenty of ways of making sure that this Merciless Blade is doing 220 damage for 2, which is very efficient and really ramps up a lot of the pressure that this deck naturally has. So I love this as a backup attacking option. The Mooncleave Star, similarly to the Poison Math, you can sort of skew things in your favor so that things are getting knocked out coming into your turn, or so that, you know, if your opponent thinks they're out of range, you can Cleave Star them back into range, which is really nice to have here. And let alone the option of just Cleave Starring into Merciless Blade itself, where then you can, with Choice Belt, knock out V-Star Pokemon, which is really nice. So love this option as a 1-1 line. Also just having the regular V can be another attacking threat into Mew. If you are committing your dark patches to this guy, it can be another option rather than forcing the 3-prizer into the active when you don't have ability lock. That's very scary against Mew because they can use all their tablets and blow you up. So a little note there on the little Samurott. I've also debated a 1-1 Drapion line. The Drapion obviously stronger into the Mew matchup specifically, but I think Samurott is slightly more versatile than Drapion V-Star, which just has another poison effect, essentially, which we're not worried about poison effects. We got them covered, which is really nice. So yeah, love the Samurott as another backup efficient attacker here. Otherwise, we just have lots of Ball Search to get Crobat usage, as well as all of our other stuff. A couple pivot outs with the air balloons and the switches. I'm actually playing shopping centers in here. I know Galamine is often a popular include. I like the shopping centers just to give us extra use of Empoleon and Miltank when need be. I love picking up choice belts when I'm converting into my Samurott. And you want to have some stadium bounces to paths because Sneasler needs the damage modification now, as well as just wanting to have Dark Asset. So I think you need some stadiums. I think shopping center gives us the most value, but do be careful of when you put it into play, because sometimes it can also help out opponents here and there. So I like it just to give us, in theory, maximum sort of switch outs and whatnot. Love having air balloons in here because they're insta-plays before using Dark Asset, which are really nice, rather than switch, which is like not too helpful if you just need to go into the Crobat anyway. So yeah, I like this split right now, but it's a debatable one. It could be Galamines, for example. The supporters are fairly straightforward. Mine is a great disruptor alongside our ability lock. We have Piers, which is an all-star in the deck. Gets us Hiding Darkness to move between these chunky retreat cost Weezings, in and out of our Crobats, which is obviously very helpful. And it obviously gets the majority of the deck, not the Empoleon or Miltank, but everything else. And Birdkeeper, just to give us extra pivots, more or less is the deck. So yeah, it's one that I've been sort of fooling around with. I don't think this is necessarily super high tier. I think there's still a lot that you need to get done. But, you know, it's a deck that's on the ladder. It's an annoying one for people to deal with. And it can get free wins here and there. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it doesn't get free wins at times. So let's get onto the ladder and see how it goes. Because I know a lot of people do enjoy tinkering around with this Weezing combination. It's been around for a while, and we are getting to go first here, so ideally we have Koffing and Boost Shake. But no, we have Crobat and Boost Shake, the betrayal. But we actually have Ultra Ball and Hiding Darkness, so I can get the turn 1 Weezing off. So let's see what we're up against. I see a Sobble, and Quick Ball saves me an Ultra Ball play here, which is great. So we actually do have the turn 1 Weezing, as long as we have... Yep, we have 2 in the deck. Here we go. It's a turn 1 Weezing. Let's see how the opponent can react to that. This is exactly why we play the Shakes. Let's do this. Let's go into our Koff, and let's see how they like a boost. Shaking things up turn 1, forcing us to end our turn. But there it is, the early Weezing coming in. As we see a Capacious Bucket from our opponent, they have Water Energies, and could just be a Keep Calling here by the looks of things. So, also another quick level ball coming in. Going to proactively grab Drizzile. As we do see a Keep Calling. Alright. I pick up Marnie. So Piers can let me go Sneasler, attach KO. I think that's the best thing to go for tempo, to be honest. They have no real attacking threat down, and I can Marnie them later if I have to. So let's go Sneasler, attach Hiding. One of the best things about Sneasler is it does increase this Weezing's early tempo. So straight away we're getting a KO, during Pokemon Checkup, which is nice. Also means that we're playing around a Raihan, so even if our opponent had Rare Candy, they couldn't Raihan and Aqua Bullet us either, which is one of the only threats that I'd be worried about right now if I was physically scoring knockouts. The opponent is going to evolve into a Drizzile. Of course, we are neutralizing their options. It's going to be an attach to the active and just a pass. Alright. Think I don't want to get rid of this Weezing with Quick Ball. I might get rid of Shopping Center here. That guy can go. Let's get our next Koffing down. And let's rip this Marnie, I think. We weren't able to hit a Darkness Energy, so I can't Stealth Poison for the KO, which would have been the dream. Still enjoy evolving up here. And we'll still just do this, I think. Yeah, I think it's right. See, the opponent can at least pay a retreat here to deny the prize. If they can evolve as well, and that will do the same thing. They undoubtedly have Irida plays that they can make. The good news is a lot of the Palkia decks, they require cross switches, and that's a hard thing to combine when they don't have Shady Deals. As we do see an Irida. If they do grow cross-switching, I imagine they have to do with Koffing and then put 20 here. That would be their best play. Doesn't really make sense putting it on Sneasler. But we'll see. They actually do have the cross-switcher play, so let's see it. You obviously cross-switch first, so you can activate your Inteleons. Okay, they're going to try and get the Crobat in range. That's also reasonable. Getting the 20 prepped is one of the bigger deals here. Alright, they have to make the most out of Shady Dealing. Dealing in the shadiest of ways. Is he Net and Quick Ball? Okay. Net into Inteleon. They have one more deal they can make. Here we go. I wonder if their own Quick Ball is going to be for Crobat or anything here. I think if it was, they would have saved the deal. More Quick Balls. So it probably is going to be Crobat, right? They'll go Crobat and Palkia. They're going to throw away a Path, which I'm happy about, because Palkia probably only plays one, and it means Sneasler's at full capacity to do stuff. Wow, no Crobat draw at all is interesting. That is the downside of Boost Shake. It does get a lot worse. We are just going to go for the poison play. The good news is if they just come back with a KO, I'm taking a prize and seeing two more cards to maybe just go in with the Weeze again. Really surprised by that Quick Ball choice. They'd have to already be holding Boss in hand for it to be right? If they have Boss in hand here, it's really strong, but no, just Aqua Bullet, okay. I think 20 on Koffing makes sense. Alright, just going to hit the bat. We will be taking a prize here between... I need to stop saying between turns. During Pokemon Checkup, which is the official term. Weezing is actually a pretty good draw. As long as I can get an energy. Nope. I don't mind Samurott coming down, though. Pressurize. It means I'm just going to boost Shake into VSTAR here. Thin the deck of a card. The Marnie's royally scuppered us. We have a good amount of Bull Search cards that we can top deck into for Crobat Dig. It's just not happened. They get rid of a cross switcher. What is going on here? To grab a Greninja. I am visible confusion. Okay, so they were holding Boss. I'm going to get to see 2 cards. There's an Incense for deal. There's probably a combination I get knocked out here, right? Possibly. If they can belt Zig and do some stuff, maybe. Or if they can candy quick shooting, that would be another way. Did they just fail the level ball? What is happening? What is happening right now? There's no shot. I think they just scuppered their own deal. But I still need to Marnie this, because I need to attach energies and attack him. Alright, alright. Not bad. I want to draw, but I can't really. So let's just take the prize and go into Weezing. A little bit nervous about how many hidings I've lost. See Melanie. Incense. The Marnie's definitely helped them out. Training courts as well. Just the bullet coming in. Gonna try and pepper up the Samurott, makes sense. That's a really good draw, because it's a free discard. Probably need to put another Crobat down here. Pretty sure I'm just attaching active. Popping this here. Going to the shops, seeing some more cards. Alright, this is really solid. I can thin a Boost Shake and Marnie as well. Can pop this down because I have Shopping Center. Try and slow down their hand that little bit. Alright, do I want to shopping center the balloon and pay retreat and get the higher threshold of damage? 6 into 9 isn't good numbers. I think I'm paying retreat. I obviously do have that Mooncleave Star, but I don't want to be forced into it. So although I'm sacrificing my balloon, it's probably the right way around doing this. If I was clever, I would have just ballooned the active, done the retreat, and shopping centered it back, rather than putting it here. Because that's a way smarter move. But here we are. It is just going to be an Aqua Bullet, okay. So Ziggy's in the bin. Let's go here. So Mooncleave into boss. Probably the route, and then I'm benching Miltank. And going into the Miltank. Is there any other way? I think this is the best option. You can see how the Samurott can do some cool stuff, some tricky plays. So Crobat is an interesting draw here. Obviously that was always going to happen. I want the bat on full cylinders. I want the Samurott ready to go. And do I prefer Weezing, or do I want to go Miltank here? I think I save the bat for next turn if I need to dig. So I think I just do this. This does allow the VSTAR power, of course. I'm not too scared of a Greninja using Shuriken anywhere on this board. A lot of their Inteleon's dealt with. So if they want to just pass into me, they kind of can. I don't mind just having a hand of Crobat right now. Too much. Let's see. It's been a bit of a weird game. They've definitely been strange with their deals. But I guess I've not seen their hand this whole time. There's going to be a quick concealed cards for a couple. Ah, they do have an ordinary rod, so they can get back some of their line. Let's see how they want to do this. All right. It's a retreat. So will they Shuriken here? Miss Cheryl. Uh-oh. That does change the complexion of the game. Are they just going here, here? Uh-oh. Dark Patch doesn't change much. Are they just going to beat me by slow attaching right now? Could be the case. By just attaching 2 energies before I can move this Miltank, they do win. They couldn't attach though, so that's a turn. Okay. Well. Let's get back this belt. Stealth mode into Weezing again. Trying to deny their Radiant Greninja draws. This game has got so funky. This forces a retreat from the Greninja, or they can give up the 1 prize and still make me go through Palkia. But I think we're slowly getting there. It's been a wild game. Is the retreat into the pass. Okay. I will attach and do this. Yeah, Weezing's still fine here. I think we've just about ground them out. Sketch, though, at times. I got really heavily punished for wasting my air balloon by playing it wrong with a shopping center, which is kind of deserved, but it's like, man, that hurt me a lot. All right, a win. A bizarre win. Obviously, this is not a permanent lock, of course. The opponent has answers in boss's orders and a few other things, but we did get the turn 1 shake. And that's at least what the deck's trying to achieve, so let's get one more game in, because these games can go long. We're going first again. Will the Boost Shake be at it again? Well, not yet, but we have some insta-plays to try and boost our way to glory. Looks like it's a Arcdura. Definitely one of the trickier matchups for this deck, but if we can deny that Starbirth, it can all go to plan. We obviously play a lot of special energy, so have to be really careful with our use of basic energy. All right. How brave are we? This is always happening. This is always happening. I think it's hiding active, quick ball, sorry, ultra ball away. I think Birdkeeper can go, actually. I'm drawing enough cards where it seems right. Miltank not too handy. Samurott something I'll put into play early, I think. This deck not known for playing ropes, so I feel like just one early Wheeze can be really strong against them. We don't hit boost, but they mostly need their abilities on the next turn, so I don't think it's that bad for us. Let's yoink back this energy and let's just chill. Not the energy, the air balloon. So you have to be very careful with these hidings. DTE in the bin. Research. Everything must go. The Duraludon, of course, only prevents damage. So I can still wheedle away with poison. But it really isn't the pressure I'm looking for. But their turn is awful. They just go Dura, attach, pass. Let's evolve up our boys, shall we? I think Switch is going here. Let's get Sneasler. No, let's get Koffing so I can get an attachment on it, I think. Because I don't mind attaching the hidings onto the Weezings because they don't deal damage anyway. Let's do this, do this. Don't want to play the air balloon. Looks like we missed the chance to get some poison in, but looks like it's going to be a Marnie play hit. Possibly could have ballooned this Crobat on the bench. Man, missed all of our outs, so let's just Ascension the old-fashioned way. We're going to throw away Mustard. It's looking similar to Evenoff's regionals list. So they can quick ball out an Arc here. Energy and a pass. Okay. Let's grab Sneasler, let's grab more basic energies, because these are vital. So 7 down to 4 plus 3. No, I think it's actually best to just do this. Because of the metal, or what's it called? The hard coat. It's like the raw 7 is obviously more immediately, but if they don't have Switch in hand, it's way better to be doing this. So they have to get rid of another DTE, which is really good for the Hyper Potion part of their deck. But it may tell me that they're holding Boss in hand. They have Rope, so they can Rope KO with Arc. Rope is just not a common include. It's upsetting to see. We're going to give them Crobat, I think. I need the damage. I need... how badly do I need this ability lock? I guess they're going to get their one use of their ability, and I'm just sad about it. So I guess Koffing goes. They play the tech Rope. So sad. They got us. There's DTE number 3 and a research. What a clutch escape rope. The parasol as well. I'm playing parasols obviously for Tina, but it does prevent our poison. Very sad. Big sadage. Alright, let's get an energy down. Let's boot a boost. Let's grab this. Let's throw the Marnie in the mix. Choice belt's pretty good here. Happy to see it. And I think I just go milk. They probably want to pay retreat anyway, but this stops them from at least getting a free second Dura ready to go. Force them to have the goods, right? Have gear. See Raihan, okay. Shoes. Raihan's definitely not what they were looking for. Had the boss though, so they will be doing the power up the next guy plan. So I have to get through 2 big Duras. Yikes. Samurott's going to be important, but it can only do so much. Okay. Let's get rid of more of these boost shakes. So I'm hitting for 7, 10, 130, so I don't need this. I guess it's Ziggy to hand. Practically belt to play around hand disruption at this point, I think. And I suppose it's still Miltank that comes up, because there's never a world where he doesn't just take the prize if they can't boss. And the Weezing could be mildly more helpful, because it has an energy drop and a pivot. Alright, next Dura coming at you. No. Oh, so they prize the VMAX, or they have it in hand. Interesting. Okay. So hitting for 100 sets up the Mooncleave Star. Four, 5. It's so bad into Hyper Potion, but I guess every way I do it is bad into Hyper Potion. I guess I Mooncleave Star first. Oh no, but I can't pay retreat Dark Patch. Thing is, the Stealth Poison is just so slow tempo. Why am I just... I have a free retreater. Right, let's draw cards. Ah, but now I can pay retreat at Dark Patch if I have to. So let's hold Birdkeeper. Mooncleave Merciless. Yeah, okay. Mooncleave. Merciless. This plays around healing best, right? Because if I have to, I can max Cutter next turn. Avery has been played around perfectly by me. So no healing means I don't need to do the fancy shenanigans. But it's probably the play anyway. Terrified of losing to a Gatling Slug. That would be so upsetting. Here we go, let's do this. I guess I Shopping Center to deny some draw. And we stealth. So I do lose to Boss Gatling Slug here. The 50 damage is enough with their 1 metal energy. They have only played 1 boss. It's a Raihan though. Raihan doesn't beat us. They chose to fail an Ultra Ball earlier. So I don't see a reason for them to have kept VMAX in hand. Sorry, in deck. So I think we're getting there. They don't even hit us for some reason, so we do just win with this, right? There we go. A nice win against Arcdura as well. That should be one of our harder matchups for certain. It's kind of wacky that they didn't have Boss in hand there. They should have had Boss for Gatling Slug for the 50 to get us. But hey, there we go. A couple of wins. It's dicey the entire time, but yeah, we didn't face any Confe engines. That's when this deck feels busted. Feels like cheat coding when you're Weezing and Empoleoning. You know, the Confes, the Reggies, all of that sort of stuff. That's when it's much more destructive. So let me know what you think about Crobat VMAX. How have you been playing it? Have you tried the shakes, or have you just been trying, you know, good old-fashioned hammers and Galamines and that old chestnut? I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.